Good morning, kids. Today we're going to talk about questions because I always say kids ask the best questions. You guys are so good at this. And we're going to talk about how Jesus was asked a lot of questions. People had a lot of questions for Jesus when he was here on earth. Maybe you have some questions you'd like to ask Jesus. And sometimes Jesus answered his questions with other questions. And sometimes he answered his the questions that he was asked with a long story or parable to give the answer. And sometimes he told people that their questions were not really the right question, that they weren't really asking something he could answer. And he kind of redirected their thinking. And maybe you've had this before where you try to ask a question, maybe you're trying to figure out how to get to the next level of your video game, but you go to look it up or you ask your mom to look it up, and you don't have the right words to describe what you're looking for. And so it becomes hard to find the answer because you don't know enough about the topic to ask the right question. And your generation not only asks questions of their teacher or of their parents, they also ask electronic devices questions. So we sometimes ask Siri questions. I can't say the hey because my phone is now recording this and it would mess it up. But I brought with me an Echo, and Alexa answers my questions on this. She's coming to life. So if I ask Alexa, why don't pastors and elders fly? Oh, she doesn't like that. Alexa, why don't pastors and elders fly? Oh, she won't answer me. What if I ask Alexa, why doesn't our praise team wear jazz shoes?
Sorry, I don't know that.
She doesn't know that because that's not really a question that she can answer. And so it's kind of a silly question. It doesn't really have anything to do with the topic. They don't go together. And so in the Bible, there's 2 times that people ask a question that Jesus kind of redirects them. There's probably more than that. But these 2, in John 9, people ask Jesus, why is this man blind? They bring a blind man to him and they want to know why. And they want to know who sinned. Was it his mom or his dad? And Jesus says, it wasn't either of those things. This man is here so I can show my glory. I am the light of the world. And he healed the man. And he showed his glory. And then another time in Matthew 22, they asked Jesus about a woman who was a widower who had lost her husband and was remarried. And they wanted to know when she got to heaven, who would she be married to? And Jesus said, I can't really answer that question. That's not a good question. And it's not a good question because you don't know the scriptures and the power of God. You don't know my word. Because at the resurrection, when at the end of time, when we come back to life and because our souls will live forever, we know that there won't be any marriage, Jesus said. So I can't tell you who she'll be married to because there won't be marriage. And so I want to encourage you guys to keep asking good questions and to study God's word so that you can ask the absolute best questions. Because the more you know about God's word, the better questions you can ask. Matter of fact, in God's word, you're to discover in John 5 that Jesus says that in the scriptures, in his word, that all of those words testify or tell witness or tell about him. All of God's word tells about Jesus. So you can learn about Jesus by learning his word, and you can learn to ask the best questions. Have a great week.